So afterwards I was like, but not all of that wasn't for nothing, and I don't regret it. So just thinking about it like that is like, okay, like I'm going to carry that fitness with me into next year, even though I didn't get to showcase it. Like it wasn't for nothing. And yeah, no regrets. I think I wanted to start training like the athlete that I want to be, and not necessarily like the athlete who I currently am. Like I wanted to start training like the athlete I know I can be. So yeah, that was a big step for me. And I'm excited to just take that like wisdom and experience and everything I learned from that training block. And I think that it's really good momentum. Like even though I didn't race well at Worlds, like knowing what I was able to do like is good momentum heading into next year.
That was Emily Mackay back today on the Running Effect podcast for a thoughtful, fun, funny discussion on her 2025 year and season. Emily is one of the greatest American female distance runners in the country at the moment. She seems to make every global championship at this point, from the World Championships to the Olympics and everything in between. She is the lethal threat at the 1500 meter distance, and I feel like is consistently running under the 4-minute barrier. And she recently joined a new coach and a new team, Pete Julian and Union Athletics, and moved to Boulder, Colorado. So in today's conversation, we break down those moves, those decisions, how they've been going so far, as well as thoughtful discussions around nutrition, getting running in during the holidays, and so many other fun subjects. I feel like this was a really funny conversation that made it the perfect podcast episode for your next run, or if you're on your run, I hope you're enjoying it and you're in for a treat. If you enjoy this one, share it with a friend. That is the easiest way in which we can grow. Give us a 5-star review. It takes next to no time. And make sure you are following the podcast so you don't miss more conversations like this in the future. Thank you to Emily for such a fun conversation. And thank you to all of you for choosing to spend your time with me. I don't take it for granted. I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving with family, friends, loved ones, whoever you chose to spend it with. And I hope you are excited for the holiday season up ahead and all of the banger podcasts to come from this podcast. We have a lot of exciting guests lined up. So to start us out, let's start with the one and only Emily Mackay. Emily Mackay is back on the podcast today with a new coach, a new team. And Emily, I'm trying to think the last time that we had spoken, but it seems every few months you do some kick-ass new thing. You're constantly making teams, constantly at the front of races if it's the women's 15. And so an honor and a privilege to welcome you back on the podcast 2 days before Thanksgiving. Great time of year.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me back on.
What's the Thanksgiving week 2025 look like for you?
Ooh, so I'm staying in Boulder this year because I'm doing US Cross, which is in just a couple weeks, which is crazy. It's coming up so fast. So staying in Boulder to get in some good training, and then I'll go home for like Christmas and New Year's.
Amazing. Is that hard? I always wonder from the perspective of an athlete like you, or some of the high schoolers I talk to have like Foot Locker, I guess it's now Brooks Regionals, like 2 days after Thanksgiving. I can't imagine doing that. Is it hard to like train at a high level amidst the holidays, and how do you try and make that work?
Yeah, it definitely can be. I remember struggling with it a little bit in high school and college, and honestly, even now it's different every year. But yeah, it's hard to balance like doing things with family and friends around the holidays while we're still training at a really high level. It's like just doing all of the fun things, but just doing them tired, I guess. And trying to still get in like good sleep and recovery and all those things. It can be tricky, but I feel like I've been able to find a good balance. But I always dread going home for like, obviously I like going home for the holidays, but I dread training alone while I'm home. So I'm already thinking about how much I'm going to miss my teammates. And just the past few years, I've felt really bad in my training over those like 2 weeks. Upstate New York is super snowy and cold, and just like, it's just not fun. But
Yeah.
I now know that, okay, even if I'm not having the best workouts, as long as the effort's there, I'm going to come back. And once I'm back with the team and training, everything's going to be back to normal and fine. So just keeping that in the back of my head is super important. But yeah, and then this is my first year not going home for Thanksgiving because of running. So that's different and interesting. Just a new phase of life.
I think a lot of runners will be shocked to hear that a professional runner, an Olympian, struggles with motivation sometimes. Is that true, Emily?
Yeah. Well, it's not even, I guess it is a little bit motivation because it's hard to pull away from family and friends. Like my sister's like, "Oh, I'm going like to get Starbucks and go shopping and all this stuff." I'm like, "I have to go do like a 4 mile tempo in the freezing cold and snow." Like it's not as much fun, especially when I'm doing it alone. Um, but so I guess it's a little bit motivation. It's also just like I just feel worse for some reason. Every single year, I feel so unfit when I go home. And so I just have to know is like nothing's wrong, everything's fine, and I'll feel fit again when I'm back with the team.
Is it more the feeling because, and I'm not trying to draw the comparison between washed up high school Dominic, who was trying to break 60 minutes in the 5K, which with you, who's trying to medal at world stages. But I feel like for me, like when I was like most out into my running, it was maybe a lack of motivation, but it was more so I never missed a day in high school. It wasn't a question of whether the work was gonna get done. It was dreading getting the work done. Is it kind of
Yeah.
like that for you where it's like you're gonna do the tempo and you're gonna show up with the effort, but it's like, that doesn't mean I'm looking forward to it today.
Yeah, absolutely. The work's always going to get done. It's just a matter of like how psyched I am to do it. And it has been hard, especially like with having like past years just not feeling good. Like I have to still try to show up with a really positive mindset because I don't know, it's like if you show up to do a workout and you're dreading it and you just like already have made up your mind that it's going to suck, I feel like you're not giving yourself a very good shot at having as pleasant of a workout as possible. So even when in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, this is probably going to suck, but I'm going to like try to go into it with a positive mindset and a positive attitude and just try to make the most of it. Like try to find one positive thing, one thing I'm looking forward to. Like, oh, the snow is really pretty. So maybe I'll just enjoy like, and if it's really bad weather, it's like, there's no one on the rail trail today. So I have it all to myself and it's really pretty and just try to stop and take a moment to appreciate and just practice like gratitude. I think that that really helps me, yeah, go into workouts with a positive mindset, even when I'm not especially looking forward to it.
Are you a music runner or podcast runner when you're by yourself ever?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes, usually not for workouts, but for easy runs, definitely. Um, yeah, podcast and
What are we
music.
bumping these days?
Okay, my new favorite song to run to is Ramble On by Led Zeppelin,
Oh,
which is
banger. That's a throwback pick right there.
it's so good. I listened to it
The build up's
once.
incredible.
Yeah, oh my gosh, unreal. And I was like training by myself in Park City a little bit this past summer before Worlds, and that song came on during my long run. And I was by myself, solo, like not a soul in sight. It was just me and the cows in Park City, and I was like, I could just sing right now and no one would hear me. So I'm like running my long run, just belting Ramble On. It was like it was so much fun.
That's
So that's
amazing.
an example of like, okay, I was kind of dreading doing that long run by myself, but I made the most of it and I
Led
ended up
Zeppelin
having a
pulled
great
you from the
time.
depths of the grave.
I just shuffled Led Zeppelin, listened to it for the whole long run. I was having the time of my life.
You know, it's a great song from Led this time of year that's like very moody and vibey. Do you know Going to California?
Yes,
That's another one I like. Not
that's
probably not
such a
like
good
that's
one.
probably not gonna fire you up, but I feel like it's very like nostalgic feeling if you're running in
Yeah,
a park, things to
right.
look at.
And for an easy run, you don't always have to be super fired up. You can listen to some more mellow stuff. So,
Totally.
yeah.
Um, if you like Led Zeppelin, I feel like you'd like this song when you get off our podcast. I could be so off the mark here, but similar feeling. I was on a run and um, yeah, I was like, I think I had a workout like a fartlek or something. It was like super hot, and this song came up similar to yours, like on a shuffle. Long Train Running by the Doobie Brothers, incredibly upbeat,
Okay, I think I would
remarkable
know that
song.
if I heard it. Yeah.
Really, really good song. So check it out.
Yeah.
What's
Okay, I
we're coming
definitely
up
will.
less than a week here. Spotify Wrapped is coming up. What do you think is going to be on there?
I have a lot to say about this year. So, past 5 years, my top artist has been Gunna.
Okay.
And I think this is the first year he's not going to be my top artist. I had a very like eclectic mix of music that I was listening to this year. Like I went through an EDM phase, a classic rock phase, and now I'm back listening to like Nicki Minaj and Lil Uzi. So I truly, for the first time, have no idea what my Spotify Wrapped is going to look like. It's going
Do
to
you
be
feel?
very interesting.
Yeah, this is the first year I've really gone to concerts, and I think that will greatly influence mine. Like I've gone to literally two Mumford and Sons concerts, and I think they'll be my
Ooh,
number one because I feel like I just listen to artists a lot
yeah,
around a concert and then
you
after a
gotta.
concert. But they're definitely off the beaten path. But I love Mumford and Sons is like timeless if you like
Yeah.
that sort of genre.
Oh, yeah. I like
Um,
all genres, honestly.
is there one you don't like? Like I do not like country music.
Ooh, I do like country music. I don't think there's a genre I'm like hard no. Maybe like super heavy metal, like screamo.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I could do like Avenged Sevenfold. I feel like that's like the most like hard rock I can go. Um, but other than that, I'll listen to anything.
Was it what year was it when Gunna came out with One of One? That
Ooh,
song goes hard.
that's a
I
good
think it was
question.
last
I
year.
actually don't know. Was
Last year or
it?
two
I feel
years
like
ago.
it was. Unfortunately, I feel like that's longer ago than we think it is.
You would know it.
But
You would know it better than me. He has not been anywhere near
I
my
don't know.
top. Not that I don't like
But
him. Apparently
okay,
he's a runner. He has a run club.
really,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's so
Yeah, because
cool.
Under Armour literally sponsors him and his run club.
Okay, how did I not know that?
Yeah, so maybe this is your public shout out to him.
Because I haven't been paying attention to Gunna the past year, apparently. I just pushed him to the side. But that's awesome. Fun fact, he came to Binghamton University. I think it was my
Really?
6th year there. Yeah. It was like right before he got kind of big. So we got
Did you
really
meet
lucky
him?
with that one. No, I didn't meet him, but I was up pretty close to the stage. It was like, yeah, it was fun.
The rest is history.
Hmm.
Gunna and Emily Mackay rose to the ranks after that meeting. What else was I gonna say on the music front? Something about him. Oh, EDM. I ran with Diplo this year. That was crazy. I don't know if you're a Diplo fan.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
he's
cool.
actually a really cool dude. Like he's
Oh, I'm
almost like too
jealous.
chill. Yeah, I went to Meta at their big Meta Connect event, and he has like his run club, like Diplo's run club. And I don't know what it is with Gunna and Diplo having run clubs, but I guess I'm here for it. And so it's like the event where like Meta announced all their new products, so like their glasses and whatnot. And they brought out Diplo to do his run club. So I ran with Mark Zuckerberg and Diplo, and Mark was like,
That's
definitely
insane.
more like the executive, like feeling like cordial and nice, but like a little more reserved. And
Yeah.
Diplo is very much like free going, free flowing. And the cool thing was after the run, they had like an after party for all the attendees, and it was just like Diplo was the DJ. It was the most insane thing ever. I was like, I'm experiencing a Diplo concert 5 feet in front of me for
Wow.
free. This is the coolest thing ever.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it was super cool. Going back a few points, what advice would you have for athletes around the holidays to get quality training in?
Ooh. Um, that's a really good question. So just stick to your normal training plan and try to make sure that you're not changing too much. Make sure to try to protect the space around your training and your sleep schedule and stay on track with nutrition. And also, like, don't be afraid of like split indulging during the holidays. I've like thought about that a lot in the past of like, oh, it's like Thanksgiving. Honestly, I have my best workouts like the day after Thanksgiving, the day after just like eating all day and
I've
eating
heard
all of the
that from so
carbs. It's
many
like,
people.
yeah, I've been talking about this a lot lately. Is like, I also noticed my best long runs are if I have like a cinnamon roll the night before a long run, I have my best long run. I'm 2 for 2 on that front. So I'm all for like heavy carb loading the night before a hard long run or a hard workout. So yeah, just like holidays are for fueling and having super fueled workouts. And yeah, and also just, I don't know, get the work done, but also don't be afraid to like do the fun things with family and friends. And yeah, just try to protect your recovery and sleep schedule as much as possible.
On the nutrition front, I have heard that so much that people have their best workouts, long runs, etc., around the holidays, which at face value you might think is counterintuitive, but if you dive into the science of how many athletes are underfueled consistently, it's like, oh, that kind of adds up. What has your journey been like with that, in terms of fueling, learning proper nutrition, and understanding in a sport where I think we grow up and we think like lighter is better or lighter is faster, realizing
Mhm.
with more and more science that's coming out that we almost can't eat enough. And it's almost like a second full-time job to fuel
Mhm.
for the type of work that you're doing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I feel very thankful that it's always been like my team culture in high school and college, and even now it's just like feelings like super important, and it's just like not a restrictive culture at all. I've always tried to find like balance in my um, nutrition and not restrict anything, just in moderation. So it's like I've heard a lot about like the 80-20 rule of like 80% good, 20% like not the best, but there's no bad foods, and every food has a place in your diet. Like even like candy and those quick sugars are great for like I'll like have a few like nerds gummy clusters before a workout, or like if I just feel like I need quick sugars, like sugar is actually our friend, especially like yeah, before like workouts. And like I've started trying to consume more and more sugar during long runs, and it's helped me a lot, especially with like I started doing pace long runs. I've done 3 of them now, and yeah, consuming carbs during has been huge for me. So yeah, I think it's been definitely a journey of like I'm not immune to like having those thoughts of like, oh, like I would maybe if I like wish I was a little bit leaner or whatever. But um I feel like, and whenever I have those thoughts, I always remember like I feel my best when I'm super strong. And honestly, I'd rather be overfueled than underfueled, because consistency is key. And like not having to take breaks from like getting injured from underfueling, I think in the long run is going to be so much more beneficial. And like I want to have like longevity in the sport. And I just think like fueling and staying healthy is super important for that.
How long of a journey do you think it's taken to get to the point where you have these mindsets, or do you feel like you've kind of always thought these things and lived these behaviors?
I've always thought these things, but I do have moments where I like can feel myself like slipping a little bit, and it'll like, I don't know, just take like just feeling super tired or something for me to be like, okay, like knock it off. Like, what are you doing? And I start fueling more, and I immediately like I feel better. And it's crazy. I actually noticed this fall. I was like uh, paying more attention to my intake, and I was like super tired in training. I wouldn't say I was under fueling, but I was just like focusing on it, hyper focusing on, okay, I need like my nutrition, and like trying to be a little bit more regimented. And I was not feeling horrible, but just like more tired. And then as soon as I was like, okay, I'm just going to let go, I felt so much better, and like just stronger. And yeah, I felt like I was like holding on to like water weight, or like just like my body just felt like heavy and gross. And as soon as I let go, I felt like super strong, but like just more poppy in my stride. And yeah, so something like that is like it's a learning experience, and having like that's like it's not like science, but it's like you have to be like experimental and like know what works for you. And having that experience, I'm like, okay, I'm never like I just like continuously prove to myself that I run my best when I'm not hyper focused on nutrition. I honor my cravings. I eat what I want within reason. And that's when I feel my best. So
I love
I
it.
change
Yeah,
it.
it's such a good message. So thanks for sharing it, especially for
Yeah.
a younger athlete. Because I think, yeah, I'm like, unless you're like trying to do a bodybuilding show, which by the way, call me crazy. I'm getting hotter with my hot takes on the podcast these days, but I haven't gotten canceled yet, so we'll keep it coming. Like, why is like, why are like performance shows a thing? Like, I don't understand that world, but maybe someone can enlighten me. Unless you're doing one of those where you're like bulking and then like cutting for like a show,
Yeah.
of which we probably have no one listening who is in that arena. I don't really think it makes that much sense to track calories or proteins or carbs.
No.
I think you get more stress from undergoing that process than you do of just having a general understanding of what goes into your body and feeding your cravings. And I think, yeah, again, feel free to push back or add any thoughts our subtractions here, but I think if you're going to track, do it like once a week or once a month of like a day that you generally would live, just to make sure you're kind of in the general guidelines. But doing it every
Right.
day, again, is like a full-time job for your mind. And I also feel like it just makes food what it shouldn't be, which is a chore rather than like something you actually enjoy and look forward
Yeah.
to.
No, absolutely. And I think if you are going to track calories, it should be to make sure you're getting enough, not to like, so um, yeah, like I said, I'd rather be overfueled than underfueled. And I think, honestly, I think it's hard to get enough fuel, um, especially with all of like running like whatever, 80 miles a week, whatever. It's so hard to fuel enough to like sustain that amount of training. You have to eat more than you think you do. So that's one thing I've been realizing, especially now living at altitude. I've had to up my nutrition even more. And I think that's a little bit this fall what I was going through is like, oh, like, I don't know. I didn't realize I needed to be eating more to be able to feel good at altitude. So,
Yeah. I feel like there's almost always some sort of, I don't even know the word, reason why you should be eating more, whether you live at altitude or if you're in high school or college. They've done studies on how much your brain needs to even like be in class and operate, because your brain is like shedding calories. Or if you're on your period, you need different nutritional needs than if you're in a different phase of your cycle. Or
mhm.
if you're a man and you have a stress fracture, it's like your nutritional needs are going to be way different than if you were healthy or whatever. So nutrition, I feel like, is so individualistic. And I also think if you're a listener, like I've done this, looking into like if you crave sweets all the time, there's a good chance that you are like very deficient in sodium and salt. And like there are all these
Oh,
kind of cool different um corollaries if you're feeling certain things, what the
yeah,
actual answer could be behind them. And I'm sure you get blood tested, but I feel like that's the easiest thing that people can do, and it's super affordable.
right.
Like I think a few years ago I got one done. I don't think insurance covered it, and I literally think it was like $12. It was like the
Wow.
basic blood tests are not
Hmm.
expensive, from my understanding, at least in the state of
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, and everyone's levels like can be different too. Like I've had markers before on my blood work saying that I could potentially be under fueling, but was feeling great. I'm having great workouts, great races, everything's fine. So it's like I know personally like those levels are just a little bit lower for me. And I know it's not an issue because I've been super healthy, knock on wood. But yeah, so everyone's levels are a little bit different. Like mine were like slightly low. I'm like, oh, maybe pay attention to this. But I was like, I think my feeling's good, but I guess it could always be better. So, yeah.
Talk about Boulder. People now know you live there, based on you saying it a few times in this conversation. New group, new setup. Take us through some of the recent changes.
Yeah. So last spring slash like early summer, I moved here at the beginning of July. Well, I guess it was this year, but last season. Yeah, I moved to Boulder 1 month away from USA's, which was kind of crazy, but it was a change that I knew I wanted to make. So I figured might as well do it as soon as possible. I wanted to be where I knew I wanted to be for like the next few years building up into the LA Olympics and just get started as soon as possible. And living at altitude is something I've always wanted to do. Um, or it's like something I always like dreamed of in my running career, but I didn't know if I would actually do it. Um, but yeah, I figured if now's the time if I'm going to do it because I feel like my best years are ahead of me, and if not now, then when? So, and I think I respond really well to altitude, so it's something that I definitely wanted to try out. And yeah, the change has been super positive. This fall has been probably the smoothest build I've had in a while. I just feel super strong. I'm having fun with it. Um, and yeah, it's just been so great so far.
What's it been like having new teammates, new coach? I know a lot of times those things can either be smooth or take some time to adjust, specifically someone in your position who's been in the sport so long. So you've experienced different setups multiple times. What's the energy like going into 2026 for you?
Yeah, the energy is really good. I feel like the transition was really smooth. I feel super thankful that everyone on the team was super welcoming, and Pete's just like, I don't know, like he took me on, he started coaching me early July, and the communication has been great. And I feel like he's already gotten to know me so much as an athlete, and I've gotten to know him like really well as a coach. And even on the personal level, like I just feel super comfortable talking to him. And we sat down this fall and made a bunch of goals for the year, and we made a plan. And yeah, I'm just really super excited for what's to come. I think it's a really good setup.
I think in your old setup, you guys would go to altitude, so you had some experience with it. But living altitude around the clock, we even talked about the nutritional differences. But how has that shift been being at altitude? And maybe even take me through the 1 month leading into USA's kind of ballsy doing that so close.
Yeah, it was nerve wracking for sure, like making a big move 1 month out from USA's. But I really just wanted to get here and kind of lock in. I needed like a 1 month really solid training block leading into it. So, and I think that was a really good decision. I think it was helpful being at altitude the month leading up. And I had been in Flagstaff the month prior to that. So coming down to 5,000 feet actually felt a little bit better. And I got in some really good sessions. And yeah, I'm very thankful that it went so smooth, and thankful that even though it was like a little bit chaotic moving across the country and all of the change and all of that, like even though it was like all really good change, it was still stressful and it was nerve wracking. Like I was like, I still really want to make the team. So I'm thankful I was able to still be able to do that. And yeah, it's been, sorry, I forgot the question.
What even was my question? Basically, training altitude. Training
I feel like I
altitude.
started rambling.
No,
But
rambling's
yeah,
good.
so
Rambling on.
training at altitude, because I had had experience in Flagstaff, I feel like 5,000 feet feels like super doable to me. And it has been a little bit different, kind of doing a fall build at altitude for the first time, because usually we would only go in the winter and spring. So but I think it's been super helpful, just getting back into like shape. The altitude just helps. And I have maybe been a little bit more tired, um, just increasing mileage every week and also being at altitude. I'm like, oof, it's like kind of my body's just getting used to running 80 miles a week again. And yeah, it's just maybe a little bit more tiring at altitude, but it's okay.
I feel like Pete is like one of those like white lab coat geniuses of science, studies the sport for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I actually
Yeah.
DM'd him a few years ago and he said he'd come on the podcast and then he left me on red. So, Pete, if you're listening, I'd still love to have you on the podcast. I need to circle back with him because I think he'd be an amazing. He's
I'll
just one of those
mention it.
coaches who I feel like who has coached so many different remarkable, pros.
Yeah.
And so I guess what I'm curious about for you is like, what's it been like being coached by someone who has coached so many people in the sport who have done things that you yourself want to do. And so you can look at them and say, oh, I fully trust you. Because there's this dynamic in sport where the athletes say, to the listeners, oh, trust your coach, trust your coach. But like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't trust your coach, or at least if I was you can't trust your coach if they haven't already done the things that you yourself want to do. And
Right.
Pete has definitely done that and then some. So what's that relationship been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's made it really easy to trust his training and to trust him as a coach, because I feel like he's seen it all. He's coached so many incredible athletes. And so he knows the markers. He knows what kind of like paces I need to be hitting in practice to be able to run certain times in the 1500. So when he tells me like where I'm at based on my workouts that I've been having, it's really easy to trust him because he's seen it before, and he's seen it with like a whole bunch of different athletes too. So yeah, it just gives me a lot of confidence. And yeah, my training's definitely been different, but I know that it's worked for so many other incredible 1500-meter runners. So yeah, it's just really easy to trust him.
Without spilling all the tea, what would you say is the biggest difference in training philosophy?
Ooh, we're doing a lot more speed work and getting more technical with things. So I started doing speed drills, well, learning speed drills this fall. That's been a learning curve for sure. But Pete calls it low hanging fruit because I'm so bad at them. He's like, this is low hanging fruit because he thinks it's super important, and so do I. Speed drills and just learning good technique and good form and focusing on, yeah, speed and form. And what else has been different? My lift has been different, and I'm doing paced long runs for the first time. So a lot of change, but it's all really good change, and all things that I think are going to make me a better athlete. So
If your competitors don't need one thing, it's you having a faster closing kick. So might as well turn off the podcast, guys, because you might be cooked come this summer. Um, yeah, that's amazing. In terms of teammates, again, speaking a little bit out of my butt here off of just memory, but Union used to be a Nike group. Now my understanding is just same name, same coach. Now that there's no sponsor, so it's a bunch of different girls with no sponsors. What's the atmosphere like with that? And is it kind of fun to have all sorts of different people with different stories come onto the team? I'm close friends with Emily Cole. I've known her for years,
yeah,
in her years at Duke. Like someone like that coming on a team, like she's so joyful, so bright, brings such a
yeah.
fun energy to practice. Can you speak
Hmm.
about just the
She sure
energy, that
does.
kind of the not, I don't know. I think some of these sponsor groups can have like an aura about them. And then some of the groups that don't have sponsors, I talk to the athletes and there's like a refreshing spirit about it. Have you felt that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think there's something really special about having a team that's not tied to a brand. It gives a lot more freedom to the athlete and the coach, and just like the group as a whole. So it's like we can have like anyone can join our team, which is super nice. And yeah, it's like Pete has been able to build like just build his team like how he wants. So I think that that's like really great, and he's just such a great leader. I think he's doing a really good job of like just like coordinating everything and building a team where I mean we're all excited to go to practice every day, and we all like we're great training partners. We help each other out and make each other better every day, and yeah, it's just been so lovely so far.
In terms of the future, you mentioned we talked for quite a bit before hitting record, so I'm unsure if we mentioned this before the episode or when we started. But you said something about training for cross, which I feel like is a new thing for you. Are you looking to do the 15 next year? Add new events? Yeah, what's your thought on where your focus is primarily going to be?
Yeah, I think this year I probably want to focus more on 8:15 than like 8:15 5K. I don't know. Honestly, after this fall build, I kind of want to run a 5K. So I'll probably stick to my same events, but I my main goal for the year is I do want to run a few 800s. I feel like I only run one every year, and yeah, I think that if I really want to like explore my potential in that event, I have to just run a few more and focus on it a little bit more. And the main reason, I guess, behind doing cross country this fall was just to have something exciting on the calendar, something to like kickstart my training and something to like feel like, okay, like I'm getting fit for cross. It's just been really helpful with keeping me on track with my goals and getting me to where I want to be for the indoor season.
You mentioned that you had spent some time training in flag in the past. So let's put this debate to rest now that you live in Boulder. Boulder or flag, and why which one?
I have to say Boulder. Many reasons. I think it's more livable that 5,000 feet versus 7,000 feet. Um, I know how I'd feel on altitude camps in flag, and just I can't really imagine training at 7,000 feet year round. And then also, there's just I feel like there's more to do here with Denver being so close, and then living next to the Rocky Mountains is like it's so beautiful, like living next to an entire mountain range. I've been to Estes Park like 6 or 7 times already. I did not mean to do that.
That's gonna be the intro, ladies and gentlemen, to this podcast. It sums
Please
it up
no,
really
please
well.
no. Oh gosh.
Great podcast
That's
ahead
so
with Emily
bad.
Mackay
The
with the
brain
middle
rot is
schooler jokes.
awful.
It
Okay.
took me such a second to understand. I was like, is she trying to say this is like a lot, a little? And then
We've
it
been
clicked.
going overboard on the tee with the 6-7 stuff because Pete said it a couple times in practice, and like he
Let me
doesn't
ask you
know.
this. Maybe it's just like we realize it as human beings. I swear that combo comes up way more than like
Right.
10, 11. 3, 4. I never hear any of that. And I find myself being like, yeah, I'll be there in like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah. I think it's because like there was no reason to notice it when you would say it before. But now that it's a thing, you notice every time, at least for me, every time I say it, I notice it. Like I didn't even do that on purpose, but then I'm like, huh, 6, 7. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
Do you know who started it?
No, I have no
I should
idea.
look this up live on the podcast because I'm so confused. What does it even mean? Is there any meaning?
No, I mean, you're asking the wrong person. I have no
You
idea.
use that very confidently, Emily. I gotta say,
I know.
how did 6,
Too
7 start?
confidently for someone who doesn't know what it means.
Love this title from CNN. The 6, 7 meme can be annoying, but the kids are shouting it for a good reason. Like what?
Oh, the kids love it.
Okay, the internet meme and slang term 6, 7, pronounced 6, 7, originated from a 2024 rap song and was popularized through social media, primarily TikTok and Instagram, in early 2025. Its rapid spread is attributed to its association with basketball culture and its intentional lack of a fixed meaning. Only in
Okay.
2025 would we support the saying of something with, quote, intentional lack of a fixed meaning.
Right. No, exactly. I think that's the whole point of it is that there's not, like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just brain rot. Like,
Totally.
yeah.
Anyways, so boulder over flag is what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is
So back to the, okay, boulder over flag. Yeah, it's pretty. Also, I don't know if this is a hot take. I actually don't know where people stand on this, but I think the running's better here. It's like just a little bit more flat. At least there's more flat options and more. It's just a lot of dirt roads and a lot of different options of places to run. So
when your running is done one day, do you see yourself staying in like I hated on flag, so I doubt flag, but like a boulder or flag? Do you see yourself living there? Or are you excited to like live in somewhere where you never be a professional runner?
I don't know. I feel like I could see myself living here, but I could also see myself settling down in upstate New York, like near the Finger Lakes area. So we'll see. I have no idea. But also, I'm not hating on flag. I do love Flagstaff. Like we like to do like higher
Quote
altitude
unquote
camps.
hating on flag is literally, to anyone from Flagstaff, is not, if you don't say flag is the greatest country or greatest city in America, that they consider that hating on flag.
Greatest country.
So, yeah, Flagstaff is
Yeah.
its own country.
Kind of feels like it sometimes. No, I do love Flagstaff, and I think we are going to want to do some like higher altitude camps. And personally, I would like to go to Flagstaff after training in Park City. I liked it, but I just like I have friends in Flag, and I feel like kind of a part of the Flagstaff community after doing so many camps there. And yeah, just having friends who live there, I feel like I have more options of people to run with, and I just like know the running community there better than Park City. So I love it for a training camp. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to live there. That's all.
Talking about reflections from 2025, how do you feel like the year went? Obviously shifts in group and coach and training styles you mentioned. So what's your kind of, we're coming up on the end of the year, which is hard to believe, but what are your biggest reflections from the year? And then off those reflections, kind of planning moving forward points going to 2026, hopes, dreams, goals, ambitions, etc.
Yeah. Okay. There's so many parts. Okay. So the first part, my reflection of this past year, I am very proud of how I handled like adversity, I guess. And I proved to myself that I'm super resilient and like, I don't know, that I can like stay true to myself and, I don't know, focus on my training and all of this. And I'm proud of how I handled switching teams and working with a new coach and moving across the country. It was a big year, and like a lot of change comes with a lot of stress. And yeah, I'm just proud of how I handled it. So there's that. And like, I don't know, I feel like being able to overcome adversity is like huge in this sport. So being able to do that this past year is like, I show myself like, okay, like I am really resilient, and it just gives me a lot of confidence going forward. And I would give the year like maybe an A, like not an A plus, but an A. I am proud. Like I didn't PR in the 8 or the 15. I PR'd in the 5K. So there was some like improvement. Like I do have something to show for like, okay, I think I was more aerobically fit this year. And honestly, I do think I was in better shape than I was able to show. I think I didn't race as much as I would have liked to this past year. So that's definitely one of my goals for next year is just racing more, which will be easier now that I'm settled in my new training situation. And let's see what else. I I was very disappointed with my showing at Worlds. I expressed that a little bit on my Instagram, but I had high expectations of myself heading in, and I had the best training block of my life heading up to it. So I felt really confident and really excited and just the most ready to go that I've ever felt. And I'm disappointed I didn't get to showcase that. But and afterwards it was a little bit hard. It's like, like I poured everything into it those 6 weeks between USAs and Worlds. Like my entire focus was just getting as fit and as ready as possible. And like I made sacrifices, as I mean we all do in this sport, but like I could have stayed in Boulder, and been closer to friends. And but I went to Park City. I was training by myself mostly. Like I met up a few times with people for easy runs, but that was something that I don't love training by myself. So that was out of my comfort zone. I was also proud of how I handled that. And I showed myself, okay, I can train by myself, even though I don't love it. I know I can do it now. But yeah, so poured everything into it, had a great training block. And reflecting back, it's interesting because after I felt horrible in the semifinals, and I asked Pete, I was like, what do we think happened? And he was saying maybe like emotional burnout of just like the year as a whole. And like, he was like, I could tell like you didn't love Park City and didn't love training there. I was like, yeah, but I thought that's what I needed to do, like to get as fit as possible. Like I just wanted to give myself the best shot. And it was like a little bit different training. I was training harder than ever before. And I don't necessarily think I overtrained, but I think that like training takes time to sink in. And so even though I had that like incredible training block, it was like I took like one rest week or 10 days or whatever leading into Worlds. And then that wasn't maybe enough time for all of that training to sink in. So afterwards I was like, but not all of that wasn't for nothing. And I don't regret it. So just thinking about it like that is like, okay, like that I'm going to carry that fitness with me into next year, even though I didn't get to showcase it. Like it wasn't for nothing. And yeah, no regrets. I think honestly, I wanted to start training like the athlete that I want to be and not necessarily like the athlete who I currently am. Like I wanted to start training like the athlete I know I can be. So yeah, that was a big step for me. And I'm excited to just take that like wisdom and experience and everything I learned from that training block. And I think that it's really good momentum. Like even though I didn't race well at Worlds, like knowing what I was able to do like is good momentum heading into next year. So okay, and then sorry, the last part of the question is goals for next year.
Yeah, hit me.
Oh, I think I kind of already said I just want to race more 800s and race more in general. And it's going to be a little bit of an experimental year. I feel like every single year has its like own purpose. Like 2 years ago, like the main focus was like, I really want to make the Olympic team. And then last year I was like, okay, I really want to make the world team Tokyo. And this year, with there not being an outdoor team to make, I think I want to do like try to do indoor worlds. But it's just a different year where I feel like there's a little bit more freedom to just experiment, and I want to race as much as possible, and I don't have to worry about peaking at one very specific time this year. So that'll be fun. And then my last goal is to just address some of the weaknesses that I found last year. I feel like every year I always like find things that I want to like grow and improve on for the next year. So
All good things. Thank you for sharing all of them. I guess a question off of all of that. A lot of times we've had the crazy because of COVID, like 5, 6 championships. Wow, praise the Lord, it was 5, 6, not 6, 7. Five, 5 or 6, maybe 6 or 7 championships lined up over the past couple of years. Actually, I wonder how many it has been. It may be 6,
I,
7.
I want to say
Genuinely,
5, but I actually have no idea.
yeah.
Uh,
Anyways, well, Doha was 2018. What was Doha? Now I'm like really curious. I'm trying to find an
that's
excuse
before
to
my
say 6,
time.
7.
Let's see.
Doha
Okay, wait.
World Championships. Oh, 2019. Um,
There's
but COVID,
Eugene.
we didn't have anything.
Yeah. So was it
Definitely not 6 or
Eugene?
7. Anyways, what I'm trying to say
Budapest.
is, how nice is it to not have World Championships this upcoming year? And
Yeah.
how do you view, like, you're in the peak of your career right now in terms of like the output that you're producing, how fast you're running, the fact that really anyone can bet on you to make a team, and they're probably going to be true. How do you view this kind of upcoming 3-year push with the Olympics? And specifically, is it nice to, it's not an off year ever, but it is an off year in terms of like
Yeah.
not having the stress and pressure of the World Championships?
Yeah. I feel good about it. I'm thankful I have another, what is it, 3 years to keep like building. And I feel like very thankful I've been able to be on like a pretty steady, like positive trajectory, like as a whole, like obviously not without bumps in the road. But as a whole, I feel like I get a little bit better each year. And so if I continue on that trajectory, it's like I'm super excited about what that means for like the athlete I want to be 3 years from now. Just having 3 more years to like experiment and learn more about myself as an athlete. And yeah, each year I just want to like continue to just be the best athlete I can be and identify any weaknesses. And like, I always believe that there's something I can be doing better. So just not putting myself in a box and believing truly like the sky's the limit. Like I don't set like, yeah, I guess a limit on what I think I can do. And each year, like I truly believe that I can improve and PR and yeah, so it's exciting.
Final serious question for you. What's the biggest takeaway piece of advice you have for the listener at home?
Ooh, a takeaway piece of advice. Honestly, I would say just enjoy the process as much as possible. I think I always run my best when I'm the happiest and enjoying my training and enjoying the people around me. And that's just been so huge. And I learned it a little bit when I was in Park City by myself. It's like, dang, like I really miss the team. So, yeah, just surrounding myself with like amazing people and sharing in joy of running and having as much fun as possible.
I love it. Emily, final question for you. We're in the thick of fall, obviously, a question I've been asking reoccurring guests because the first time I have them on, I ask them the Gordon Ramsay question. But second time around, we're in the thick of fall. What's one fall thing you love, whether it's a drink, a movie, a food,
Ooh.
anything? Favorite Emily Mackay fall item number one, what is it?
Okay, I can only pick one thing.
Just one.
That's so hard. Okay. That's so hard. I have so many. I would say I've been loving, I have like an electric fireplace. It's like fake
Ooh,
flames and it like it's kind of like a space heater. It gives off heat, but it's just fake flames and I've been loving it. It's just so vibey and it's a really cozy vibe in my apartment. So,
can't beat it. One more question for you. Bonus round. Off the fireplace discussion. When can you start listening to Christmas music? What's your take on this?
I would say like the day after Thanksgiving, but this year for some reason has been the first year I'm like I kind of want to throw up the Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. And my fiance Grayson did put on Christmas music the other night when we were playing cards, and I was like, oh, it's too early, but I was also kind of loving it. So I guess that rule's broken, and
I
here we
love it.
are.
I'm a when the weather shifts, you can start playing it. I desire
Okay.
to listen to Christmas music if it's 35 and drizzly outside. That's where I really struggle because I grew up in really cold states. I struggle to think of like what Christmas would be like in Florida. I'm like,
Right.
I would not want to listen to Christmas music. It's 80 and sunny
Yeah.
outside. Like I associate Christmas
Yeah.
music with the
You're
weather.
listening to
So
like Bob Marley reggae
yeah,
music.
right, right,
Right. Like, what do
exactly.
you listen to? Yeah,
Exactly.
I would have such a hard time getting in the Christmas spirit if it was like
Oh,
80 degrees
100%.
outside.
100%. I'd be like, I'm
So,
not going to put on a Christmas tree.
yeah.
Anyways, Emily, thank you so much for the conversation. I'll always appreciate your openness to sharing the insights and wisdom that you've learned from your career and giving back in that way, and cheering you
Yeah.
on, rooting for you in this upcoming year with the new coach and new group. And I know you're going to crush it. So keep crushing it. And we'll talk again here soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was fun.